Hello, this is Elizabeth Swider, President of Geriatric Care Management, and this video is how we use Insightly to keep track of our client case notes and communications. So there was a previous video that gives you an overview of Insightly. You should look at that one first so you understand what a project is. This one will go more deeply into projects. So by now you will already have gone to Insightly and logged in. To look at the projects, you should go to this Projects tab. And as you already know, what projects are being displayed here depends on the filter that you've chosen. And what I've chosen right now is the Academy filter, and it's displaying the results in order of project name. When you are doing this for yourself, probably what you are going to want to display is the projects that are assigned to you. When you do that, it will just display those client projects, and it's not so overwhelming. For this video, I'm going to use a training project because I don't want to display very much confidential client information in this video. So for these purposes, I'm going to get this project that's called Sample Client Work Project. And you can actually use this project to do some experimenting on your own before you get going with your own client projects, or after you're already going and you just want to figure out how some things work. So by the way, let me just remind you that often when we do projects, when we set them up for clients, we will name them after the client, and then we will say client work project after that, and that's to help distinguish the project itself from the contact. And remembering from the last video that a contact in Insightly is associated with a person. So you may have a client, and that client is indeed a person, and they will have a contact set up in Insightly that is their own address and information, that sort of thing. This project is about all the work we do associated with that person, and the contact will be linked to the project. Projects usually have this little tool symbol as an icon, but when we get a photograph of the client, we'll often replace this with the photograph. So when you're looking for your client work project, be sure to choose the project rather than the contact. So I'm going to click this and open it. And each project will have across the page here in the middle all these different tabs. And remember, we said before that if, let's say, this project is associated with a filing cabinet, then each of these tabs would be a file drawer, and they're going to include different things. The history includes everything. It's displaying everything that's happened on that project. And there's little icons that say what are these different things that have happened in the project. They'll usually display in order of the most recent at the top. Then there's the email tab. This will be all the emails that were either created in Insightly through this project or created elsewhere and sent into Insightly and linked to the project. Then notes are things that we actually input right into Insightly. We'll open up, create a new note. I'll show you how that works, and input text. Files are things like, let's say that there's doctor's instructions that have been scanned and uploaded, added right here, add new files, or they've been included in an email and sent into Insightly. When that happens, they'll be attached as files. This one was an email attachment. There are docs, and these are documents that are uploaded into Google Docs or Google Drive and then added into this project. And for each client project, we will have a special folder in Google Docs that will be associated with that client project. At this point, we aren't using milestones or events, but we do sometimes use tasks. We said in the last video that tasks show what work items are associated, are assigned to you, and sometimes those tasks will be linked to a client project. Sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. So let's look at first. Let's stay here in the Docs tab, because often when you're starting a new project, you'll want to see the care plan and the assessment. So if you see this folder here, this little folder icon, that indicates there's more files inside this folder. So I'm going to click on this. And what it's doing is it's opening this folder in a new tab. So here in the old tab, we're back to just where we were before. This has opened a new tab to display those documents. And it's showing you just a little thumbnail of the documents right here. And you can click on either of these and it will display it. You can also open it in Google Drive, which is helpful if you need to alter the document. So let's go ahead and click on this. What you would normally see here is probably this is a sample assessment and care plan. So if we click on that, then we can open it up. Note that down here is a print icon, so you can print that and take it with you. There are icons for zooming in or zooming out to make it easier to see, and this icon will zoom it to fit the screen. And you can use your mouse or these little bars over here to scroll around the document. I'm going to click this to take us back to a smaller view. In order to close this view, I'll click that little X. And like I said, we can always open this document in Google Drive. It's taking me to that folder that we said we wanted to see, the sample project documents. And here are the two documents which you can open here. And if you have permission, you can also edit this document. So again, this has opened our document in a new tab. I don't need this anymore, so I'll click this little X to close it. And I think I'll do the same here just so we don't have too many windows open. A reminder that what I do when I click this tab is I would click this X, I will close this particular tab, which is lit. If I were to click this one, it will close all the tabs, which we don't want to do at this point. So here we are back in the client work project, and we were looking at the docs. If you're looking for a document that you're not seeing under docs, it may well be under files. So we can click that, and this is indeed a file that was emailed as an attachment into the Insightly project. So it's been attached here. I just clicked that, and it's opening up the attachment. In this case, it's not allowing me to view it. It's asking me that I need to go ahead and save this document and open it. Sometimes I think it's a little bit easier to attach things through Google Docs than through emails, because sometimes this is the result. But in this case, you would just save, and then you would go to where that file is downloaded and open it so you could see it. So I'm going to cancel that. And again, I've got this window open. I'll just close that. So if you're looking for care plans and assessment, this is the best place to look. If you are documenting your client work, and we need to create documentation every time we see a client or do something on their behalf, and there are several ways that we can do that. One is to write a note in the file. This is just like you were pulling out a piece of paper and writing something down and putting it in this folder, which is then included in this project. And I tell folks when they're learning some new software like this, the best way to, if you're not exactly sure, is to look around the screen and see what hints you might be given. In this case, we have this little description that says add a new note. There's also add a new Evernote, but that's a different application and sort of an advanced topic. So in this case, we'll just add a new note. And by the way, like I said, you can use this for your own experimentation, and you can make your own notes and leave them in here. So this is for you to experiment with. So I'm going to say in this title field, title of this note, let's make it descriptive. Because if you just put something like a date, you need to open up the note just to get any indication of what's in there. So I'll just say these are my notes from my client visit. Then you can choose if you want this to only be visible to certain people. We usually leave it for everyone in case someone needs to come behind you. Especially Wendy will be reviewing these case files, so she needs to be able to see the notes. So we'll say save note. Okay, and then it takes a little minute, but then it will display the note that you just wrote on top of this. So here you can see how that goes. It gives you a title. That's why I said let's make it a little bit descriptive so that when you're going through the list, you can see what it's about. And then it gives you this little just brief introduction to what is in the note. In this particular note, I actually attached a document, so that's possible too. Let's go and open this note up. I'm just clicking on that note icon. What you can do if you want to is add a comment to that note. Somebody might come behind you and say, oh, okay, you know, that's a great idea. Here's some vendors that you can use to get that service. If you just wanted to edit what you said in this note, you can click this edit link, and it'll allow you to edit. If you wanted to attach something to this file, attach a file to this note, then you would use this file attachments field, say choose file. Then it will allow you to browse to wherever on your computer you have saved that file. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to save that note. Maybe I'll just say these are my notes from my client visit today. I'll save the note, and then my changes will be reflected. Something to know here is if you after you make the note, if you press this follow button, you will receive an email when anybody makes an update to that note. Now, I am inside the note. I want to go back to that project. You could use this back button on your keyboard, on your screen, but in this case, I'm just going to use my back to project. So if you have a client where you're not communicating with anybody on a client blog website, or you're not emailing, let's say you're communicating with a client family via the phone, then you would need to go in here each time you do something for the client, add a note so that we've got documentation of the work that we performed for that client. Another way to document what we've done is through email or through client family websites. In the case of client family websites, we will set up the blog feature so that when you make a post, the email from that post will automatically be saved to this project, so you won't have to redo your documentation. The documentation you put in the client family website will be sent to this project. There are a couple of other ways that you can save emails to projects. That is an important topic. I won't cover it here simply because it's something a little bit different. So, one other thing. When you have a client project assigned to you, it's a good idea to go ahead, click this button. Yours will say click to follow. So if you click it and it then says follow, then you will receive an email update when anything is posted to that project. So when, if let's say Wendy were to make a comment about the work that's being done, then you would be alerted to that and won't have to be checking in Sightly just to make sure. One last thing, which we will also talk about a little bit more when we in a separate video, is project links. You can link to a project, emails, contacts, organizations, etc. So let's say in this client work project, our client was living at Westminster Canterbury. Then we could link, and what I'm doing is I'm searching, I'm typing in this field the first few letters, and it's going to come up with options that match that. So I'm going to click this Westminster Canterbury, the Blue Ridge. I'm going to say the role for that for this project is it's going to be the client residence. And you could put something in details. Let's say it's independent living. add this link. And then the links are displayed here. This is really handy for client doctors, for client family and friends. We will usually link the lifestyle coordinator to the project so that when you go into this project, you are able to see what the context of this client is and who they're interacting with. We even have clients where we have products that they routinely buy that we will put a contact for the product and link to that product in this in the project, so it's easy to go back and get that product information. If we were to click on this link, it would take us to the organization itself. Here's all the employees that are in that organization, and here is the project that we just linked to that organization. So I will click back on projects to get us back to our project list, and I'll click back on sample client work project to get us back to the project that we were looking at. So that is an overview of client work projects. It's important that we document all the work that we do in one way or another, through a note or through emails. And as I said, the emails we'll discuss more in a future video.